SABC News reporter Lerato Fekisi on the ground there in George for us. Lerato, thank you so much for your time. We've just been getting an update from the Human Rights Commission in as far as their fact-finding mission there today. Just talk to us what else has been happening there. Any update? I mean, as it stands now, 20 people are still unaccounted for.
Absolutely correct, Unati. 20 unidentified, 32 deceased. Of those 32, 26 are males and 6 are females. And I just wanted to paint a picture for you, Unati. We arrived here a few minutes ago, and I wanted to show you and allow my cameraman to show you that in Georgetown itself, Unati, it literally is business as usual. Just across the street, as you see in the visuals now, is literally the CBD here in George, where, as you see, it's business as usual. Shops are still open. But now the irony of it, Unati, is that just across the street, literally 5 minutes from a busy day as normal, is the sad catastrophe of people that have died from the collapse of that building over a week ago. And when we arrived here, what really did move us, and I'll allow my camera just to show you as well, is just the flowers that have been laid here, and also balloons, also hats. Obviously, a lot of people that were here, or people in construction, so you can see hats, and you can see for yourself that flowers just in remembrance and in honor of those that died on duty. So a lot of flowers around here, people obviously coming here as they are allowed by the police to lay flowers of remembrance of those that died here. But Unati, one thing that I can say that I've picked up since we arrived here is the frustration, in particular from foreign nationals who are saying that they've been here for 4 days trying to identify their loved ones, and it hasn't been easy. We're going to walk towards some of them now and let you just speak to them for yourself, but it's been a really, really painful process just to listen to some of those stories and to hear. I want to also speak to people from here before we speak to the nationals, people from George, people saying, you know what, in the history of George, never has such a catastrophe ever happened where a building collapsed like it did. But ngicela ubuza nje lapha namhlanje ngizobukela leqhubeka apha niziva njani njengabantu bahlala apha zange mos lento yenzeka apha eGeorge and nivisa kanjani ubona abantu bakuni besuka nendlela enje.
Sisiva kabuhlungu kakhulu. Mna ndinothi urhulumente makayibone lento yabantu abaqashwa kwindawo ezinje, funeka icontract xa ijongisiswe napha islab asiqinanga le nto ikhawulezisiwe. Even inspector le ipasisileyo ndiyayisola ngokwenzeka kwenenzeka phaa. So urhulumente makayibone ngokuba i-inspector must be sure ngekonklithi eyenziwayo uba iqinile into eyenziwayo ngoba ngofaka abantu phaa ngenxa ye-inspector.
Well, that's just a resident from here in George who resides in here, saying that from what he sees, obviously all allegations, saying that from what he sees that the structure was not constructed properly. Like I said, those are the views that he has expressed. But like I said, Unati, the issue of identification has been an issue. Yesterday when we spoke to the forensic services, they said that most of the bodies being now taken out from the structure are decomposed, so identification becomes the issue. There must be DNA tests done, there must be fingerprints done, and some families say they come here with the proper pictures as they've been asked, then they arrive here and then they are told, you know what, the picture you have sent is not enough because the person that you're showing me, the person that you see in the mortuary is not the right person. But let me just show you something that literally broke my heart. Let me just come, this man that we're going to speak to now, still very much devastated. I can't even put to words the pain he's in. He actually lost his brother, and he said to me when I arrived here that he decided to leave his phone at home because he's so tired of his family, not tired in a bad way, but just frustrated, his family calling him and asking him, you know, is his brother alive? And so far his brother hasn't been identified. Slobo sam andikwazi noyichaza noba injani intlungu yakho. Lixesha kana nolapha tata ulinde ingxelo ngomnakwenu. Phanga phakathi hlobo sam bathini?
Sengaphakathi akaphumi.
Ingaba tata wena uziva utyhafa ngoku, uziva usenethemba uba umntawenu akaphuma ephila okanye usofuna nje ubona noba uphume emzimba wakhe ubone at least uba ukwazi uma-identify?
Njalo sister, akwamzimba qha.
Ndiyabona tata munqongophele kakhulu because xa usiya pha ngaphakathi ngaba banceda kahle injani uncedo pha ngaphakathi?
Bayasinceda sister.
Okugqibela hlobo sam eyona ntlungu yakho kule ntlekela yintoni? Ndiyabona I mean iyure I think ezi-4 hleli apha kusifikile uphuka emphefumlweni kakhulu ngubrother wakho lo pha ngaphakathi ekhaya uthe ifowuni yakho wayishiya ngoba kudala bebuza uba uphi umnakwenu uyaphila na. Eyona ntlungu yakho bhuti wam yintoni ngeli xesha?
Le nto yenzekileyo sister sisi. Nzima nokuthetha manje sisi ngase. Yes, sisi.
As you can see for yourself, Unati, even still hard to speak. For this young man who is from George. He lost his brother. His brother hasn't been identified, so he's perhaps one of the 20 still left in the rubble of the unidentified bodies that are still under the rubble. He can't even speak. He says when I approached him earlier on that he left his phone at home because his parents are calling him every hour asking, have you found your brother? And he has got no answers. And that's the painful reality of what happened here, that it is the voices, the people behind the story that are now left unanswered. And we are hoping later on just to hear if more bodies have been rescued, and also just to hear how far, like I said, the identification process has gone. That's been the toughest part, Unati, where the bodies, like I said, are decomposed. So to try and identify decomposed bodies right now is a hefty task. It's not easy. Even if you come with a photo, like I spoke to a young man earlier on, he said, I did bring the right photo, but they said it's not enough. Compared to what I showed them and what they see there, they can't release the bodies. So people are left with no answers. Like this young man, they come and sit here every single day and the scorching sun, waiting and hoping that someone at least will come and say, we've identified your brother or your sister, and their bodies are here. Back to you in studio.
All right, Lerato Fekisi there, of course, painting a very painful picture there as she tries to speak to family members. What is, of course, of concern for community members that are watching this unfold is questions around how the building itself was approved, and of course with the owners of that particular building and the developers of that particular building going underground or not actually being visible to authorities, it makes it very difficult to have those questions answered. But let's take a quick break at this point. We'll be back with more news, and of course we'll continue to give you an update on what is currently happening in George.